COVID-19 cases, with 169 patients recovered. There have been 6 deaths statewide, 3 in Toole County and 1 each in Lincoln, Madison, and Missoula counties. The state's website shows 46 hospitalizations, 21 of those being considered active hospitalizations. More than 8,500 tests have been completed for COVID-19. And closer to home as of this morning, there were 13 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Cascade County and no reported deaths. The latest case was announced Friday. Officials said it was a woman in her 70s associated with out-of-state travel. The city-county health department said 8 patients have recovered so far. At least 1 person has been hospitalized. And the Cascade City-County Health Department officials say that due to federal privacy laws, they cannot release any other information about the patients, including where they live or work. The CCHD has not released information about any specific cases linked to any businesses in our community. And with the addition of Wyoming, every state is now under a federal disaster declaration for the first time in U.S. history. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest on the COVID situation from New York.
As the nation passed the grim 20,000 mark for coronavirus deaths, President Trump approved Wyoming as the 50th state to receive a disaster declaration, clearing the way for federal emergency funding. In hardest-hit New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio said he's keeping the school system that serves more than 1 million students closed for the rest of the school year.
The worst mistake we could make is to take our foot off the gas and end up in a situation where this disease had a resurgence and threatened us even more.
The mayor has an opinion on New York City.
Governor Andrew Cuomo fired back, saying no decision has been made. Friday brought yet another day of close to 800 deaths in the state. Funeral directors are sometimes called the last responders. Jesus Pujols is overwhelmed.
We're doing everything that we possibly can, but the number just keeps on increasing.
Trying to stay safe, shoppers in Sacramento, California followed federal guidelines and advice from loved ones.
My mom told me I needed to wear a mask, so I went and there was none anywhere. So I had to get creative.
And Houston's mayor urged people to celebrate Easter at home.
You can walk into a church feeling fine, sit next to some people, embrace them, hug them, shake their hands, and now you have infected 4, 5, 6, 8 other people.
Countless congregations around the country on Sunday are bringing services to the masses online as they pray for a better tomorrow. Michael George, CBS News.
In our health headlines tonight, the United States is seeing an increase in the number of deaths by suicide in recent years. Data from the National Center for Health Studies shows from 1999 to 2018, the suicide rate increased by 35%. The rate for men was more than 3.5 times the rate for women, and among men, the highest suicide rate occurred in those 75 and older. And here at home, No More Violence Week will be offering a free webinar on suicide prevention next week. This presentation focuses on suicide within our culture with specific attention towards Montana. The speaker of the webinar is Carl Roston, who's the suicide prevention coordinator for the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services. J.B. Marshall, who's the chair of No More Violence Week, says this is a time for all of us to look out for each other.
For all of us to continue to watch out for each other in this truly unique time in history that we're living through, we know is all paramount. Watching that social distancing truly does not need to feel like social isolation, but it is a little more difficult right now.
And they do ask that you register online. You can check out our websites for all those details. And one of the most vulnerable populations to COVID-19 is our elderly. Now, Benefits Health System in Great Falls is providing a safer and easier way for residents to communicate with loved ones by introducing iPads. They say it's easy. You just call in and set up an appointment, and you can have face-to-face digital time with your loved ones. Benefits Senior Services Chief Operating Officer David Krebs says this time together is priceless.
It's first, it was very different in the beginning because they're looking at somebody on their TV screen, on a screen in front of them. But to watch their smiles, their faces, their giggles, their laughter is priceless.
Benefis is taking precautions like sanitizing iPads after each visit. The facility has not seen any COVID-19 related cases yet. We, of course, will have all the latest information on our website, all those numbers as well updated on our Facebook pages every day. Moving now to our capital city, there is an open letter for anyone to sign and thank grocery store workers. The Helping Communities Coalition Mental and Social Wellbeing Work Group created this open letter to recognize grocery store workers for their efforts during the pandemic. The coalition is led by the Lewis and Clark Public Health, with other agencies involved to promote well-being in the community through motivation and other things. According to the work group, the letter was released Thursday, and by Friday afternoon, almost 200 signatures were gathered. Physical copies of the letter are now being sent out to grocery stores.
I mean, they're out there, basically putting themselves at risk so we all can keep our families fed. And I hope they just know how much that we see that and that we recognize that and that we're so grateful.
A link to the letter will be posted on our websites. The time now is 10:12 on this Saturday night, and up next, essential businesses across the state remain extremely busy during the COVID-19. Even with the Easter weekend upon us, we'll have more after the break.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
And welcome back. The time now is 10:16 on this Saturday night. And according to the governor's directive, gun shops are considered an essential service. MTN's Gabby Crevitt has a report on how local gun shops have been adjusting during the COVID-19 outbreak.
You might expect business to be pretty slow on a Saturday before Easter Sunday, but not at Empire Arms in Manhattan. In fact, they tell me they've been extremely busy since early last month when the coronavirus hit Montana.
People thought they needed guns and ammo like I've never seen before, so did about 2 months worth of business in about 8 days.
Montana's first reported case of coronavirus brought a surge of business to this Manhattan gun shop around mid-March.
I think you compare it kind of to toilet paper. One person thinks I better stock up, and then their friend feels the same way, and it just kind of spreads where everybody thinks they need to go get a little ammo and maybe a gun.
But it's not all about making money. There is a downside.
I'm not overly excited about the big burst of activity because looking down the road, whether it's 1 month or 6 months, I can't get stuff. So ammo was out of stock and the prices have gone way up, and the more common guns that we would normally have in stock are out of stock for who knows how long.
In the meantime, gun shops like Empire Arms continue offering their services and are grateful for their essential status.
I think it's pretty great that a lot of state governors have acknowledged that the right of self-defense is pretty essential.
In Manhattan, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Thanks, Gabby. And when Governor Bullock ordered dine-in food and alcoholic beverage businesses to close, many bars were hard hit and searching for new ways to stay in business. One bar has managed to do that by applying the fast food model to the liquor world, opening up the first drive-through bar in Great Falls. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt shows us how this local business is raising the bar.
Bar owner John Barrick has wanted to make his bar a drive-through for quite some time.
Yeah, that was the request, was to have the drive-through available. Just like we do our food through there, but it was, kind of an opportunity for us to continue in business at a smaller scale.
Barrick didn't think it would take hard times to make hard liquor easily accessible. But as the saying goes, when one door closes, a window opens.
Made a couple calls the day before all this went down and got an email that said it was okay.
You might not be able to order a drink from the bar, but you can order one from your car.
Barrick said drive-through traffic has been steady.
It's been great for us. We fill a lot of growlers and lots of drinks, lots of bottles.
Although the drinks are what customers pay for, it's the bartenders they come to see.
All of our regular customers kind of know when their favorite bartender's working, and so it works out.
Allie Teberg has been tending bar for 8 years and pours her heart into every customer.
That's my job, and it's my favorite part of the job. I love my job. So when I get to say hi to somebody that I haven't seen in weeks or a day or even hours, it's part of my job. I love it.
She also takes extra steps to make sure her customers are safe.
I bleach all my pens. On the way out, I bleach them when they come back in. Every single card, every single ID.
Wiping while she works.
It's a lot of extra steps, but it's really worth it.
Extra touches in a time of no touching set the bar for businesses across the state. In Great Falls, Lindsay Hyatt, MTN News.
The drive-thru will be serving food and alcoholic beverages 7 days a week from 11 to 7. We, of course, have all the details on our websites. We'll be back in just a few with your full look at weather.
Welcome back. I mentioned this earlier. I'll say it again. Mother Nature, something about April, really just about the entire spring, but putting on a show in terms of throwing us off. Of course, Thursday, Friday, beautiful weather. Temperatures are so warm all around the state. Now we're starting off for Saturday with a winter storm warning. Now this is in effect until midnight, covers much of the state, including right here, central Montana, Great Falls, Helena. You can see off to the east as far as Lewistown, even beyond that, and then into western Montana as well. That is a large expansive area around the state. We're getting not only the potential for several inches of snowfall. In fact, some of the higher elevations up to a foot of snow. Now, a lot of that has already come down. Still expecting snow through this evening in the early overnight hours, but also factoring in those very gusty winds. So if you're traveling anywhere, be careful, but especially the higher up you go in elevation, just know that is going to be a concern. Now, some good news. Havre Cut Bank, earlier we had an advisory that has since expired, so that area right now in the clear. You can see where we have the bulk of the snowfall. Western Montana from about Flathead Lake down south through southwest Montana. Great Falls, you can see spreading down toward Helena. Bozeman right now getting a break, but Billings, also Glasgow, getting hit with snowfall. And again, the area shaded in the darker blue, the darker purple, indicating where we're seeing some of the heavier snow. We see it here, Great Falls. We see it in Billings and then around just west of Missoula as well. Augusta getting hit hard, Wolf Creek as well. And again, just those pockets of snow that are going to quickly exit the region. The other big story, as you might imagine, we're talking about snow, we're talking about wind, very cold temperatures, especially considering the last several days. 26 Great Falls, 26 Lewistown, 28 Helena, 36 Bozeman. Look at this 24-hour temperature change. It feels 37 degrees colder now than it did at this time yesterday in Helena. Butte, 34 degrees cooler. Hamilton, 38 degrees cooler. Great Falls, 28 degrees colder. Again, it's the cold air factored with those northerly winds. 19 miles per hour is the wind both in Helena and in Great Falls out of the northeast. Overnight lows tonight, cold. Again, just what you'd expect. We're talking about lows of 9 Great Falls, 9 Cut Bank, 12 Havre, 10 Lewistown, 15 in Helena. Future track as we move through the overnight hours, notice snow diminishes. By tomorrow, we're in the sunshine. The thing is that cold air is going to continue to pour in, so it is going to be well below normal temperature-wise. Even with the sunshine, it'll feel good and look nice to get that sunshine, but it is going to be, again, very cold with that. Our high tomorrow, even with the sun in Great Falls, 28, only 32 Helena. Not much of an improvement on Monday. We'll get sun, but 33 and 35 respectively in Great Falls and Helena. Again, these numbers should get rid of that graphic. That is well above what we're actually going to see. We'll take a look at our future track heading into your Monday. And again, what we've got for you, that potential for, again, a little bit of snow out there tonight. And then that is about it. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. 28 tomorrow, 33 on Monday, as mentioned. 45 Tuesday, then we get another round of cooler temperatures, chances of snow. 37 and 40 Wednesday and Thursday, finally warming up to 53 next Friday. But each of the next 7 days is going to be below normal, and in several cases well below normal, including the next couple days. In Helena, 32 mostly sunny tomorrow, 35 partly cloudy Monday. Best chance of showers comes on Wednesday. Generally rain, but a little bit of snow mixed in with a high of 40. And then Friday, Saturday, finally back in the 50s. 56 Friday, 54 Saturday. So again, sunshine tomorrow, mostly sunny, but it is going to be very chilly with a high of only freezing.
Thanks, Russ. It's now 10:25, and coming up next, spring sports may be on hold, and now coronavirus concerns are affecting how recruitment is done. We'll share more next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
And welcome back to the 10 o'clock news. Continuing our coronavirus coverage now, the COVID-19 pandemic continues to chip away at high school spring sports every week, and coaches for those same sports at the college level have to find a way to still recruit without seeing athletes in person. MTN's Isaiah Dunk has more.
Earlier this week, the Montana High School Association announced it would extend its suspension of spring sports until April 24th due to the coronavirus, cutting at least another few weeks out of an already shortened spring season. It's certain to make things tough for high schoolers looking for that breakthrough season to get recruited for college. University of Providence track and field head coach Tony Arnson said it's almost equally tough to build new relationships without face-to-face interaction.
You're almost trying to set plans for different times. Okay, what if they open it up April 24th? They turn us loose. So we got to have a plan for what are we going to do April 24th until May 31st. So really, we're kind of putting together 2 or 3 different plans, very flexible, obviously. But I do think you have to have a plan, because when it does come, every college coach in the region is going to be doing the same gosh darn thing, you know.
Arnson admits he's new to college recruiting after spending nearly the last 30 years coaching at the high school level. The Argos program has been getting steady commitments through remote signings and video chats, but with the coronavirus changing the economy at breakneck pace, sudden financial hardships could make it difficult for families to even send their son or daughter to college.
The biggest thing I think is going to be the retention of it, is making sure that we get them to school August 1st. You know, that's going to be the big thing. Sometimes it's awful easy to do something while you're sitting at your house and you sign a piece of paper and send it away.
At least for track and field programs, recruiting athletes doesn't require as much of an eye test as, say, a team sport like softball. A 200 time is a 200 time.
I think track and field makes it much easier, because it is very objective. And really what we want is we want kids that want to compete at this level. And, you know, they might not be all-staters or, you know, the all-American type kids in high school, but kids that want to compete at this level, we're going to go after them and give them that opportunity.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN Sports.
Thanks, Isaiah. And we're all missing sports right now. Many schools across the country are unifying in a special way. MTN's John Miller tells us how that includes here in Montana and how they are showing that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Normally around springtime at Belgrade and Bozeman High School, there'd be the sound of sports, the crack of a bat during a softball game, the sound of a tennis racket meeting a tennis ball. But COVID-19 has robbed us from the pleasure of the activities we once enjoyed the most. However, schools are banding together to provide a light when all seems dark.
I just went for a walk outside, and it's beautiful. And it really, you know, made me wish I was at a track meet or softball or tennis or something.
Sports are dearly missed. The Turn on the Lights initiative is spreading to a few states across the country as schools are turning on their stadium lights every Friday night.
The main focus of it is really just to let the students and everybody know that they're in our thoughts. That's really what it comes down to.
Sports has always brought people together. Turn on the Lights is a way to show support for social distancing, but also that one day we will be watching sports again together.
Sports are the unifier, and more times than not. That's an opportunity for people to get together, like on a Friday night or on a weekend or a Saturday afternoon for a track meet, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon for a track meet. To have that opportunity to turn on the lights and say, hey, people, remember the time when we were all get together. Let's remember that opportunity is just around the corner.
For Rick Phillips, the athletic director of Belgrade, providing a symbol of hope to his community and all Montanans is special.
The feeling that I got walking out there to go turn them on, it brings tears to your eyes, just the thought of what you're doing, that's something meaningful.
Checking out the stadium lights on Friday nights is encouraged, but remember to social distance.
Those football lights are on now, so as a reminder that if we follow social distancing, then we'll have football in the fall.
In Bozeman, John Miller, MTN Sports.
Thanks, John. The time is 10:30 on this Saturday night. And up next, a little girl's COVID-19 Easter concerns were calmed by a police officer recently. We'll share her request next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. With all the serious news around the world, we wanted to end tonight on a positive note. One little girl is looking forward to the Easter holiday so much that she's even gotten the cops involved. A letter to a Great Falls police officer reads in part, "Please let the Easter Bunny not get in trouble because of the lockdown," end quote. Viewer Ember Kipp says the officer did respond to her daughter, reassuring her that she had nothing to worry about and that he'd make sure the Easter Bunny would get to her and all the kids. And that's all the time we have on the 10 o'clock news. Please stay safe, stay warm, and stay healthy. We'll see you right back here Sunday at 5:30.